Welcome to the Klingon Opera House podcast, a Star Trek podcast for dweebs, by dweebs. My name is Ryan. I will be one of your co-hosts today, and joining me, as always, is...
M. My pronouns are they, them. Hello.
That rhymes.
Are you going to say that every episode?
I think so, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay.
We are now actually doing our recap
Yeah.
of Mystery at Fartpoint.
Yeah, in writing the recap skeleton, I misspelled it, and we're going to roll with it. So.
Encounter at Fartpoint, baby. Okay.
So it opens on Picard assuming command of Enterprise D, and he's just kind of like taking stock of what the sitch is.
Yeah. Remember watching the episode, there's like, they show a bunch of him walking around the Enterprise. One of the things that first, I thought about was like, God, I forgot how Next Gen looks. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it's so like, I don't know, like almost cartoonish and weird. I like it.
Huh. You know, I noticed that the lighting was much different from later in the series. It was more directional.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, like we were saying before, the characters are still finding who they are in their roles. And I think the showrunners are also just figuring out how the heck they want to shoot this, how they want to write it. There's a lot of like interestingly dynamic shots in the pilot that they just, to my memory, don't really do later in the show.
Yeah, and I think it's also because like maybe with the pilot they were like, we got to show off a little bit.
We got
it. Yeah, like we can't just do like shot reverse shot, like that kind of shit, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So Picard is short a few officers, and they're headed to pick up his first officer en route to Fartpoint, which is where they're assigned to look around. Picard and Data have a moment where Picard uses the word Snoop, and Data's like, what the
fuck is a Snoop? Yeah.
And
it feels weird to me because later he lists a bunch of like synonyms for it, and like they seem like way more like obscure than Snoop. Yeah, no, I like that as like a nice little introduction to Data, because do they explicitly state that he's a robot in the beginning? It's like a very fun way of like being like,
yeah, I think
he's a robot.
Yeah,
you know? This is how he's gonna act.
In Picard's opening line, he's like, "You're an android programmed with all this shit. How do you not know this?" And the way that Data just starts listing, and then Picard's like, "Okay, great, thank you."
Yeah. Please, shut the fuck up.
It's very Siri, very Alexa.
Yeah. Predicting the future there.
So then Troy senses a powerful mind. Cue red alert. And then Picard is like, shut that shit off.
Go fuck yourself, yellow alert. Like,
have you never been on a battle on the bridge of a starship? Like, this can't be the first time you've had to turn off a red alert. Like, he's acting like he doesn't know where the off button is.
I think it's kind of funny because Picard is like at first monologuing, "Rosing my way up Starfleet, and these are my new officers, and this is going to be things, and I'm very excited to helm the Enterprise." And then his first interaction as captain of the Enterprise is to just be like unreasonably short with people.
Yeah, he's an ornery character, but he's like ornery in a off-putting way in the first episode. I mean, like, I guess you could argue that he's newly in charge of this ship, so he is also like, this is also his first day of school.
So he's trying to like really establish himself.
Yeah. Fucking, he's masculinity in the 80s. You know.
Yeah, true.
Let's see.
So the like field appears in front of them, and it like stops the ship. They're like, "Oh, that's solid. That's real, right?"
Yeah.
And then Q appears.
Our first LARPer.
Yeah.
You know what? I do want to watch original series because I want to know if like continuous LARPing, like as a plot device, happens there too.
I mean, what do you mean continuous LARPing?
There's always like every fucking like 5 episodes, there's a holodeck episode, and it's just an excuse to use the costume department's slew of Robin Hood costumes.
Yeah, that's a good episode, but yeah.
I don't know that I've ever watched it in full.
I love that episode because I think it's kind of stupid, but
yeah.
Yeah, I know in OG series there are like episodes where they like go back to the Wild West, and there's a famous episode where they go back to Nazi Germany.
I think that's Voyager, and that's on the holodeck.
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is the first in a long line of like putting on funny costumes. Like they have, how many episodes do they have to fucking Picard's noir fantasy, Dixon Hill? It's like a ton of them. There's like 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, it's recurring.
Yeah. I like that idea that Picard is like a weird role player.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, everyone is a role player, basically, because everyone screws around in the holodeck. Sometimes it's like, it's like Tom Paris just making a bar and he hangs out as if it's a bar.
Yeah.
But then you have also like Tom Paris doing his like black and white hokey program. The name I can't remember. Oh, Captain Proton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have like, I mean, my favorite version is the DS9 arc where they all go to a fucking like 60s LA jazz bar.
The Las Vegas Club.
Yeah. With fucking, what's his name?
Vic
Fontaine, I think. Yeah.
What a name. I did not like Vic Fontaine the first few times I watched DS9.
I love Vic Fontaine.
I enjoy him now.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes I need to watch something with someone else to like get out of my head so I can enjoy it.
Yeah, I get that. With Next Gen too. Like I like Q as appearing as like throughout this episode. He's constantly appearing as like the sins of mankind. The first thing he does when he shows up on the bridge is he just fucking murks a guy. Like he just freezes him to death. Like,
well, so he freezes him because he like snuck out a phaser and is gonna hit him. Picard is like, you didn't have to do that. That was set to stun. And it's like, yeah, Picard, because it's fun to get stunned.
Yeah.
Like it's like a cop.
Just submit yourself to me. Like,
yeah, it's like a cop being like, oh, I have a taser. I was just going to tase him. And it's like, I didn't want to get tased, bud.
Yeah, getting tased, that's like a shock to your nervous system. Fuck yeah. Yeah, but Q ices that guy. Mm-hmm. Quite literally, like he freezes him.
I really like the practical effect of that. They have that, like, some kind of white finish on him that's like, it looks like frost.
It looks like cum.
Buddy, you might need to go to a doctor. It's not supposed to look like that.
I'd be coming whole people-sized loads.
Oh my god.
We should cut this out.
Why? This is like the modern Zeus, like, oh shoot, which goddess leapt out of his head?
Athena?
Yeah.
Just full people come out of my dick. Yeah.
There you go.
That is a really good effect. Yeah.
I've been absorbing some more about like green screening and how that works. Mm-hmm. And like now we can spot the effects so much more because we're more used to like really clean cuts and stuff. Knowing now that like, they put that person with like the frost effect on them and then they have to put them back in the same exact spot, same facial expression, whatever, without it on to like do the transition of them melting.
Yeah.
That's a lot of work.
Yeah.
I don't think that they were able to do that in original series.
No, that's a huge jump in tech. I mean, original series has like Gorn in like Godzilla rubber suits.
Yeah.
Like it's a huge jump. It's very like, as much as Next Gen can look a little hokey, the practical effects for the budget that it's on, very impressive.
Yeah. I mean, like it really only got to happen because these new tricks came out and people were like, well, fuck, we want to play with our new toys. And this is a great opportunity for it.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of like I'm forgetting his name, but he did the thing. John Carpenter.
I can't say that I've seen it.
All of his movies have like crazy effects. He's also did They Live, and he did like the makeup in They Live, and it looks fucking crazy. Yeah, and then Picard and Q get into like an argument.
Yeah, Q's like, I mean, like you're saying in the earlier episode, he's like, you have gotten your grimy human fingers on enough planets.
Go the fuck away.
This is the line, go home.
Yeah.
Q is playing a galactic policeman. He's the galactic preschool teacher being like, you had your turn at the seesaw, go home.
It's kind of interesting as we learn about the Q continuum, even though they are like omniscient and shit like that, they are as much like volatile and almost human as humans are, especially as the Voyager episode show. Like, I don't know. It's interesting, the idea that this is like the very first time that Q shows up, and it's like, holy shit, there's this like omniscient god, right?
When I was first watching this years ago, I was like, okay, they brought out the nuclear weapon in the first episode. Like, where do you go from here?
You literally bring out like an unkillable god.
Yeah, it's like you introduced like the big final boss in the first literal 3 minutes.
I like it as a hook, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And like they do get to do fun things with him later on.
Yeah, so Picard and Q, they get into this big argument where Q is like, you guys are fucking idiots. He does a parody of like Cold War propaganda where he's like, go back home and fight the communists or something.
Yeah, I in that moment I was like, I don't know if Q's being goofy or if he's trying to do a like Shaka when the walls fell, like I'm going to speak in a metaphor that you understand.
Yeah, I think it is.
You think so?
I like quite literally, like I think it's him mocking Picard because he's essentially saying like, you are not any different. And like the point of the show is like, oh, they are different, but are they really that different?
Yeah.
He's kind of showing like Q, although he's doing it in an exaggerated way, is basically doing a historical critique of humanity.
Yeah.
He's saying, look at all this like fucked up shit that you did. What do you think you deserve to be the ones who like get to like go enforce morality on the rest of the world?
Yeah. You know what? This is obviously these people knew what they were doing, but like it's a great spot to start off a reboot in.
Yeah.
Like a retrospective plot device like that. And I think it like kind of reminds the audience of like the framing of what the Federation is supposed to be. You acknowledge the potential for human behavior to go in that direction of violence and destruction, but the goal is to not do that, and the fact that you try to not do that is what makes the Federation worthwhile.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. That's like a really good case for the Federation, right?
And
I think along with that,
I'm agreeing with my own point. Yes, I'm very smart.
You are. Yeah, I'd also really like about this section with Q, the like lore dropping that they do. Like they're like, yeah, you motherfuckers, you used a bunch of drugs to control soldiers in Forever Wars.
Yeah. Okay. So
which is like really real, like real life fentanyl and shit like that. Like,
yeah, but so
not Fent, Oxycontin. Fent kills you. Also, what we tried to do with MK Ultra.
Oh, so when he shows up as a World War III soldier, he looks like he's wearing gym mats. And he's got like camelback schneef.
Yeah, that's funny.
With that tube.
Yeah. It's like a hiking backpack that you like your friend would wear to like drink water out of, but he's like doing drug with that shit.
Yes. Yeah.
Q is Hoover and Schneef.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is. You ever done space-time continuum schneef?
I did a space-time continuum schneef off the back of a Klingon.
Let's see. No, so also at this point, like I said, I'm always watching DS9. I was like, oh shit, it's the Jem'Hadar R. And I was like, I wonder when they made the Jem'Hadar R if they were thinking about this. And I'm kind of surprised that they never reference World War III when they're discussing the Jem'Hadar R.
The Jem'Hadar are like controlled. It's quite literally they'll die without the drug, right?
Yes, but it's also the only nutrition that they need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is interesting, but I also think like Star Trek is a big and complicated thing, and like World War III isn't that delved into.
Yeah, it's really not. I wonder if like that part of the conceived of human history is too close to like the present day of the people watching it, that like they worry about coming too close to unbelievability, or like being too didactic about like warning about a near future, which they're not worried about in DS9.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wonder if that's kind of the thought process behind not delving into it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I think like maybe a group like the Federation doesn't want to analyze it from their standpoint, because generally when you're at war with people, empathizing with the enemy is bad form.
Yeah.
So like this is a fuck thing for me to say, but like maybe they're like, don't think about it, because we're like, we did that too. Then Federation soldiers who have to fucking blast Jem'Hadar for the rest of their life, right?
Yeah, but a lot of points of the plots in DS9, like they have some missions that they carry out with the Jem'Hadar, or like they have to like work side by side or like work with them in some different like capacities.
Right.
And like they have moments of like just trying to just coexist for that mission, and just being like, damn, you don't eat, you don't have sex, like all you do is fight and die. And like there's like an occasion where they just massacre like a whole company of Jem'Hadar, and like no one feels good about it.
Yeah.
Like I think that I would argue that they actually do empathize with them a lot.
Oh yeah, but like I think from like a lore standpoint, there's a reason why perhaps the Federation as a group wouldn't be like, let's look at this in relation to our own history.
Yeah. Hang on, that base is really...
Hello, welcome back.
I took all the pillows in the house and all the cushions from the sofa and put them on the ground.
If you hear faint jazz, do not be alarmed. That is your podcast.
Yeah. It's not the music that's always playing in your head this time.
Yeah. We are at Vic Fontaine's bar right now.
Yes. Yeah. Typically, we're gonna try to avoid when the music venue downstairs is running, but we're on a roll.
Yeah, we're feeling good.
We're gonna do this shit.
Yeah.
All right. So.
Yeah. So Q fucking ices that guy. They put on the puts on all of his funny costumes, and then Q is like, historically, all you do is fight people. Like, even Klingons and Romulans, like, you just pick fights with people.
Yeah, like, even when you leave your own planet, you find someone in the schoolyard to pick a fight with. So...
Which is insanely funny, because, like, all the Q do is beat the shit out of each other.
Right, yeah.
So Q's like, fuck you guys, and Picard is like, I'm not afraid of shit. I know that this is true.
Yeah, well, Picard's like, yeah, we were douchebags before, but we went to therapy and we're better now.
Yeah. I promise, babe. I'm better now.
Yeah. And he's like, put us on trial. Like, we can take it.
Do not fear the facts, right?
Yeah. His literal line is, I do not fear the facts. And Q takes that as like, great, I'm gonna put you
on trial.
Yeah, and
Pascal, fuck off.
Okay, I'm gonna stick him outside. All right, Katie.
Lola can stay. She's chill. She was with us the whole first episode.
Yeah, well, I think that all the cushions have them excited.
Yeah.
I mean, look, if my room was turned into a bounce house all of a sudden,
I would bounce on it.
Yeah. I don't blame the cats for wanting to fuck around with it. It's in their nature.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
Q's like, bet. Picard is like, turn off all your fucking communications.
Yeah, so Q is like, great idea, I'll be right back. And Picard's like, great, time to get out of here.
Yeah, and so he starts passing around fucking printouts. He faxes everyone on the Enterprise.
He writes a note, folds it into a paper football, and then everyone passes it over their heads backwards until everyone on the ship knows what the plan is. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they go to warp, and the field collapses and becomes a sphere and starts chasing them. And they're like doing like warp 9.4, and the sphere is doing like warp 9.6.
Yeah.
Great sound right there.
Yeah, sorry.
We'll have to use different drink receptacles next time.
Yep. Sorry.
You know what? There's no going back. This is just what this episode's gonna be like. Let's see. Yeah, so Sphere is gaining on them, and Picard comes up with a plan. He's like, okay, we're gonna throw some torpedoes at them, not really expecting it to do anything to the sphere, but just thinking that it's going to cover up what they're about to do. And what they're about to do is they're gonna separate the star drive from the saucer.
Yep. I didn't really think about it that much, but the Enterprise is kind of a flying saucer.
It's such a cool idea.
To be like flying saucer, but humans made it.
Yeah, but also like the detaching aspect of it.
Yeah.
But do they ever really cover what kind of power moves the saucer? Because in the star drive, you have the warp drive. Is there like a second mini warp drive in the saucer? Maybe we need to get like specs and just put them on the wall for reference.
I bet somewhere out there's a like official release of like the schematics for the Enterprise D. Yeah. And you can look at that.
Or I wonder if they were just like, we're just gonna let our inertia carry us out of here. But
yeah, they're like, we're gonna launch this way, and the warp drive is gonna, because is the bridge at the top of the Enterprise? Like, is the saucer the one that's leaving?
I think, yeah, we should.
The saucer is the one that Worf has, which is the crew.
Yes.
Yeah, most of the crew.
Yeah, I think when you're looking at like the saucer, where it kind of peaks at the top further back in, I think that's the bridge.
Yeah, it could also be that, like, since they have like a video screen, right?
Mm-hmm.
It could literally be that they don't have a big window; they have video of a.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. we'll look up the specs. We'll find out.
Yeah.
A bunch of people are probably really mad right now.
You fucking idiot.
Yeah, but so...
He gives Worf command of the saucer section, and then Picard is like, he's doing the battle section.
Yeah.
And Worf is like, fuck you, this is bad for my Klingon honor. And Picard is kind of like, I don't care about any cultural inclination you have. You're in Starfleet now. Assimilate.
Yeah. I mean, to some degree, if you're going to have a bunch of people working together, you have to have an agreed set of rules. And the agreed set of rules for this group is not Klingon rules. But, I mean, I feel like Picard could have been like, I appreciate your inclination to stay with me in battle, but like, what I need you here. Like, there's a productive way to do that.
Yeah.
And not just be like, go to your fucking room. I told you to do whatever.
I'm your dad. Fuck you.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
So he's like, okay, we're going to do this at Warp. And everyone's like, what? It's like a repeating and always satisfactory, at least to me, gimmick of doing shit at Warp that you're not supposed to be doing at Warp.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like the sci-fi equivalent of people jumping between trucks on the highway during a firefight.
Yeah. No, it's really cool. I like that idea of like, we're going to do this really fucking risky thing just to like, because we need to get something done, right?
Yeah. And it also effectively like amps up the tension. Like you got this hook of this weird alien and now like we're already doing something crazy in battle.
Like, yeah, like ratcheting that shit up.
Also, it's that shot of it separating looks like a Gillette commercial.
It fucking does. Patrick Stewart is now a Gillette spokesman.
Yes. Dollar Shave Club.
How do you think I stay bald? Number one.
It's
the cat.
It's the stress. Let's see. What do we got next? Oh, so they separate, and then Picard's like, all right, cool. The part of the ship where the preschool is at is gone.
Yeah, the kids are safe.
We're gonna just stop and hang out here and like wait for the sphere to come to us. Like we're just like sitting ducks. It feels very sacrificial. Like everyone looks like they're gonna shit their pants.
Yeah. No, you can really see how fucking scared they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like the idea that even though like I take issue with like the idea that like Starfleet are like objectively the good guys or something, I do like the idea that they're like, we want to do this thing because it's good. They could just be like, all right, we're going to fuck off and leave, right? Yeah. And endanger the entire everyone, right? But he's like, no, there's a way to do this that'll get my people to safety, or at least most of them, and then I have people stay here.
Yeah, yeah. While, like, you know, there's that critique of Starfleet, they typically are very good at holding to their word of, like everyone's ready to self-sacrifice.
Yeah, I really like the camaraderie in it. And like the idea that Picard or someone like him would never willingly be like, well, I'm just going to kill a bunch of civilians or something.
Yeah. Also, I think this is the only time that you see the battle bridge in the Star Drive. Like, I can't think
of another time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think there's another time where it separates.
Or at least if it happens seldom enough that this is a really cool party trick. Let's see. So, get a light flash, and they appear in the World War III courtroom. When they first like pop in there and like the crowd is like going nuts.
Yeah.
The vibe is of that like in Labyrinth, right before they take the baby, that wall of goblins that's just like tittering and like, you know, going nuts.
Super, yeah, fucking evil. Yeah. Like it feels very, I'm gonna reference Star Wars again, but you know, in fucking episode 2 where they're in the arena and there's like the fucking wall of bug people. They're on the bug planet.
Yeah.
Geonosis, and they're like a bunch of fucking like winged insect creatures watching them get executed.
Yes.
Very similar vibes.
Yes. If you wanted to make this into a drinking game, drink when we referenced Star Wars. Drink when you reference Warhammer. Drink when either of us gets horny for a character.
Yeah. Drink when you are prepared and I am not. And
you're going to be blacked out before we're through the interview.
And
or
then
the intro.
The intro, yeah. And then drink every time I make a disgusting noise.
Yeah. No one's going to remember the podcast at this rate.
They'll be like, I was listening to his podcast. It was really good. I don't know what it was, though.
Yeah. Let's see. So yeah, Troy is like sensing the room. And she's like,
so this is all fucking real.
Yeah, it's all for reals. And then you get the big hovering cherry picker chair that Q shows up in.
And his fucking dripped out
Yeah.
fucking judge robe.
I love this outfit.
I like the idea that drink. It scratches the Warhammer itch in my brain. Where it's like, yes, after humanity is nuked to shit and destroyed themselves, they reduce themselves to a feudal autocracy where people dress like that.
Mhm.
But also they have sci-fi shit that's like so like, oh, monkey brain, you know?
Yeah. It's also interesting.
Like, it's so good for me. I don't know.
Yeah, like the conceptualization of what the wardrobe looks like in that era is very interesting to me.
I like how different it is contrary to the sleek sort of Starfleet uniforms.
You know, with the Q's costume and like the makeup, that it's like almost like kind of contouring that he's got going on.
Yeah.
He's one musical number away from being part of the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
He looks like a Disney villain. Like, he looks he looks like if Jafar and what's his name from Hunchback of Notre Dame had a baby.
Oh.
Cloud Frollo. Fucking whatever his name is.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
But he looks like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
You are correct. Oh, I like that.
Down to the big shoulder pads.
Yeah. Oh.
Q is a Disney villain.
Yeah. He's definitely wearing garters underneath there.
Yeah. No, there's fishnets under there.
Someone has to have done Q drag by now.
Yes. And I'm going to have sex with them.
If you know anybody who's done Q drag, Ryan would like to take them out for coffee.
Yeah. Coffee, air quotes.
Is that Seinfeld that's like coffee is sex?
Yeah. I think that's Seinfeld. Where it's like anytime someone says they want to get coffee with you, they want to have sex with you.
Yeah. Also, like before Q comes out and there's like the soldier trying to like impose calm. But of course, he's a soldier, doesn't know how to fucking do that.
Yeah.
Doesn't know de-escalation.
Yeah. No, his job is to do drugs and kill people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just constantly shooting this, like, machine gun into the ceiling and the floor. And I'm like, if this is your method of crowd control for every case, how is there any structural integrity to your building? Like, the rain has to come in, you know?
They just deal with it.
Yeah, apparently that seems in line also with the vibe of whatever is going on here.
Yeah, no, that is below the light of the God Emperor of Mankind. You will listen to his Space Marines. This is all Warhammer reference. Drink.
I was gonna say, like, I'm glass eyes, not catching any of these references. I'm like, fuck it.
I can't wait until they put Q on the Golden Throne. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep making these jokes for the 5 people who get them. Yeah. Yeah, so Troy's like, this shit's real.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, we gotta take this serious. And Tasha Yar is basically like, Q, you're a big bitch baby.
She like goes off on him. Like she's like,
oh yeah, and we should
out
say
of pocket.
She's like really mean about it.
Well, it's not that she's even just mean about it. She's not like, she's supposed to be the tactical officer, and there's nothing strategic about her behavior in this scene.
Yeah, well, because like the stereotyping for anyone who's like their thing is combat is that they're always angry. You can't be smart and be good at fighting and in the world of hats, the planet of hats, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, I feel like Worf is a fairly tactical security officer.
I don't know.
Like more so than this.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, I think it's also because she's a woman.
Yeah, you can be
you can be a female officer, but you are going to be uncontrollably emotional.
Yeah, her main asset is aggressiveness and hysteria. She couldn't possibly be competent.
Yeah, which is why I like Janeway a lot, because she's like one of the first actually competent Starfleet officers who we see doing like real Starfleet shit.
Yeah.
You know, like, I think, like, Dax and Kira are allowed to do, like, that same sort of thing.
Yeah, but they're not in senior management. I mean, later on the show, okay, we're going
tangenting. Yeah.
So, what happens next?
Oh, yeah. So, before Tasha goes off on Q is like, I'm sentencing you the same way that people used to sentence people in, like, the 21st century, which is funny.
Yeah.
And he's like, you condemned to death, basically, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Picard is like, well, so let's back.
Yar goes off on him and Q freezes her.
Yes.
He does the same cum blast effect on her that he did on the guy on the bridge.
The spray foam makeup.
Yeah. He hits her with that fucking fire extinguisher deluxe.
Yeah, that's what that looks like. You're correct. Or like the fake snow a bit.
Yeah, it does.
You know, I wonder if that gave her cancer. I mean, obviously not. She's still with us.
That gave Tasha Yar cancer, and that's why she's gone.
Oh my god. Yeah, but
I'm funny.
whatever material that is, it can't be good for you.
We're gonna go back and like look at what the material is. Like 100% asbestos. Like
yeah, probably. Picard insists that Q keeps his promise not to harm anyone. And Q's like, oh, okay. And he thaws her. And then the crowd is very disappointed because this is an MMA fight, apparently. So Picard is still insistent that they're innocent. And then Q does the thing like, guards, point your guns at his people. If you say anything other than guilty, your people are dead.
Yeah, he's gonna shoot him.
Then Picard kind of like starts improving.
He's zip-zap-zopping his way through this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Picard, he's like, you know, humans, we kind of sucked in the past. But, like, you know, we're pretty okay if you think about it sometimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, Kirk was pretty cool. And, like, we're exploring the galaxy now. And we're trying this whole, like, first contact protocol shit. We're really, like, pulling away from that imperialism and war shit.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, let me prove it to you, man. Hang out with me for a little bit. Smoke a blunt. Come in the ready room, right?
Uh-huh.
And Q's like, sounds sick, broske. I'll give you the opportunity. After we smoke out the ready room, hotbox that shit, you're going to go to Farpoint, and you're going to prove that, you know, humans are cool and good.
The turbo lift would be so much more effective for hotboxing.
Hotboxing the turbo lift?
His ready room is kind of spacious.
I bet the holodeck smells like weed.
You know what, though? You could erect a force field and, like, hotbox any room you want.
Yeah, I would do that all the time.
Allegedly,
yeah.
Yeah, Q is like, yeah, so that mission that you're gonna go do, I think that's a great opportunity to test you out. Be on your merry way. And they zap them back to the bridge. And O'Brien has been there the whole time.
And he's like, what the he's like, doesn't know anything happened.
He doesn't even, like, clock they were gone. Because, I mean, you know, shocker, Q controls time.
Yeah, he can control time.
Yeah. But, like, I feel like this is the beginning of O'Brien's just, like...
out of the loop.
Joy, like, aspect of his character.
Well, the thing is, O'Brien isn't, like, joy, right? O'Brien is just, like, always tragically excluded in certain ways.
Yeah.
Where it's, like, I think about, like, in DS9... we're just going to keep talking. Drink every time we say DS9.
Yeah.
I can think of a couple of different instances where he's like, I'm going to best Julian in physical things, right? And so he's like, we're going to play darts, and that's going to, you know, prove that I'm, you know, on the same level. And he has to, he makes Bashir stand like 10 feet away from where he throws because he has like bionic eyes and shit. And then the episode where they're playing that fucking racquetball game.
God, the outfits in that.
That shit rocked. I love that scene where Keiko is like preparing him and she puts like the fucking like rising sun bandana on him.
Yes.
It fucking rocks.
Oh my God, I can't wait till we get to that series.
I can't wait until we get to more like O'Brien shit. I love him so much.
Yeah.
He's one of my favorite characters in Star Trek.
Really? Yeah. I mean, not that I don't enjoy him. I just wouldn't have like, you know, been like, oh yeah, Ryan's favorite character is O'Brien.
O'Brien is a relatable everyman.
That's fair.
He feels so much in a way where it's like, O'Brien feels like what I would be like if I was in Star Trek, where I'm like, yeah, I'm a guy who's like good at one thing, and you're going to ask me about this one thing, and then anytime I get put out of that situation, I'm going to fucking flounder, right? Like, I like that idea that like, yeah, he's kind of like a character in like, the, you know, the Star Trek kind of stereotype of like, these are all incredibly competent people who are always there. Like we were talking about in the last episode where they were like, yeah, they made flawless characters, right? Mm-hmm. O'Brien is allowed to have a flaw, and not only in like a like cartoonish, like Shakespearean King Lear flaw in a way, in more of a like, this is a normal guy kind of way.
Yeah.
It's nice in like a big open world.
Yeah. This is the guy who works at a factory and sits in his garage and has a beer on the weekend.
Yeah. His father was more than a hero. He was a union man.
Yeah.
Like, that's O'Brien. He gives a fuck, but he gives a fuck in a way that is like very relatable.
Oh, so also in the courtroom when Q is just like kind of ignoring what he just said and like rewriting, and like he's, you know, in the big chair, so he's kind of acting like he can do whatever the fuck. And then,
Well, he's acting how courts were
yeah,
in the 21st century or whatever.
yeah. But then I don't remember if it's Picard or Data that's like, that's not what was said. And then Data stands up and like recounts what was said, like in voice of Picard and Q.
Yeah.
I like how he pulls a Tannis at the spelling bee.
Yeah. That's another one. Anytime we reference Letterkenny, drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I think that's the end of the courtroom scene. Q's like, all right, go
Prove it.
go do your homework, and I'll come back for the book report later. We'll see how you did. I have a rubric.
Pass, fail. Don't even worry about it.
So then we shift to Deneb 4. Riker has just been dropped off by the USS Hood, and he walks into Grappler Zorn's office, who's like some kind of like diplomat of this alien population.
Yeah.
And they're like chatting it up, and Zorn offers him fruit, and he's like, "Would you care for an Earth delicacy?" And it's a bowl with like the first fruit you see is a banana.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Are bananas delicacies now?
Well, like, okay, history corner. There was a period of time where in the West, really not in the West globally, but like what we think of as the West, the United States, Europe, really white people town, right? Bananas were a delicacy. And then a little company called the United Fruit Company decided that they were going to stop a group of people from unionizing, and they got the help of the United States government. And they killed a bunch of people and, completely destroyed their sovereignty as a nation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is, yep. Also, all bananas are clones. They're genetically copies of each other.
You know what that's like?
I do know what that's like because I have a twin.
Star Wars. Drink.
Wait, was Star? Oh yeah,
because there's Attack of the Clones.
I don't know why that took me a second to get. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, Riker's like, I prefer Honeycrisp apples.
I would like a fucking apple, please.
And then,
Zorn gaslights him. Apples show up, and he's like, they were right there all the time, dude.
Yeah.
And he was like, fuck off. No, they weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. That's kind of the end of like their conversation. Riker leaves, and like when Riker's gone, Zorn says to the apparently empty room, "You've been told not to do that. Don't do that shit. It's gonna make them suspicious. We'll have to punish you." And
yeah, we're not really giving any context for it at this point, right?
No, when it had been so long since I watched this episode, I was like, is he talking to himself? Like, is he like a more omnipotent alien than he's like letting on, and he has trouble like controlling his powers, and he's manifesting the apples? I mean, that's not what happened, but that was like my immediate thought.
Yeah.
It cuts to Farpoint Mall where Riker meets up Dr. Crusher. That when it first cuts into the scene and there's like kids climbing in the trees in the mall, dude, that was my childhood dream.
Was climbing the trees in the mall?
Yeah, when we were in like Gurney Mills and there was like a tree in the court, whatever, main thoroughfare. I loved climbing trees as a kid, and it's like
that checks out.
The fact that I was not allowed to climb the mall trees was physically painful for me.
Yeah, I think it's funny that there's a mall in Star Trek. Why? Like, they're like, oh, we have shops and stuff like that, and like I get like in DS9, drink.
Can you say that since you're underage? Is this like?
I'm telling other people to drink.
Okay.
I'm not telling myself to drink. I'm not drinking.
That's fair.
Yeah,
you're drinking Gatorade.
Yeah, I'm chugging water. You have like the Cisco's restaurant, which is very clearly like this is food that you kind of can't get from a replicator. This is like a delicacy and shit like that.
Yeah. Or like there's the Klingon food stand on DS9 where it's like live worms.
Yeah, like you can't get that shit in a
gach.
Yeah. You can't get the I like saying that. Gach. Klingon kind of sounds like Dutch with the amount of like you gotta get. But yeah, I don't understand why it's like we have a mall? Like are you going to like an Abercrombie and Fitch in Star Trek?
I mean, I see it more as like, come get your shuttle parts, come get, cloth or whatever. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, like the idea of like commerciality in this world. Also, it was on an alien planet. It's not within the Federation's no money society.
But they also have replicators, don't they?
Not on this planet, it doesn't seem like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a sleeker version of the Promenade of DS9.
Yeah, truly.
But,
Promenade it really scratches the aesthetic itch in my brain.
Yeah.
Really like gives me that kind of post-industrial feel. I really like it. It
Mhm.
reminds me of like an airport.
Yeah. Also, I'm envisioning an alternate reality where there's a music video of Riker and Crusher as mall rats together.
Like skateboarding.
Yeah, or they're just in the food court, like shoving Cinnabons in their mouth.
I would give my left leg.
They're shoplifting from Forever 21.
I would give my left leg to see like goth Beverly Crusher. That's my dream woman.
Okay.
I also want to see goth Riker because I think that would be funny.
Yeah, skater boy emo Riker.
Yeah, they meet up with Crusher and Riker meets up with Crusher at the mall, and Riker's like, "Yo."
I was gaslit by an apple.
Yeah. And Dr. Crusher continues the gaslighting by saying a shitty pun and being like, "Don't be such an apple shiner."
That's me.
That's
you. Yeah, she didn't say that. I wrote that in. That's my note.
I was like, oh, I can't believe I forgot that line. I feel like I would have remembered it.
No. Yeah, she's like, "Don't be such an apple shiner. Like, I'm off the clock. No shop talk. Don't talk to me about like temporal anomalies or shit. Like, I'm here to buy cloth."
Yeah.
Also, does Crusher have a sewing machine? Like,
I'd buy. Like, okay, I'd buy that. The idea that like someone would have a hobby like a sewing, like Data paints. You know?
Yeah.
It's a creative hobby.
It's just that we never see her do it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. The idea that people like make their own clothing is an interesting concept because you almost never hear about it elsewise, other than like Garrick being a tailor.
Yeah, and does Rom make the Starfleet uniform for Nog, or does he go to Garrick for that?
He goes to Garrick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and it's like, I don't know, like, okay, I imagine replicators have like a mass-produced thing about them.
Yeah.
And it's like the creation of unique articles and things like that. It becomes like, I imagine it would be like artisanship in the modern world.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but so
also like there's a sewing project right there that says "eat my entire ass" on the wall. And like, I could imagine Dr. Crusher making that.
Yeah. Maddie made that. That was one of our first
holy shit
nights.
Is Maddie Dr. Crusher? That's holy shit, she is.
I'm the Picard to Maddie's Beverly.
Oh, you're so right. Yeah. Pigeon is Wesley.
Yes, he is. Oh my god.
He's a proper little boy.
Pigeon is our dog. We don't have a pigeon. It's a dog.
No, he's a real pigeon. I swear to God.
He's a pigeon on the inside, in his heart.
He's got pigeon eyes.
He does. Yeah, but so Crusher's like looking at this bolt of fabric that she may or may not be actually making into a sewing project of some kind. And then the same thing happens to her. She's like, "Oh, this look great with gold." Boom, you got gold on it.
And she's like, "Oh.
Yeah.
Fuck."
She's like, "Oh, shit. Sorry, I was mean."
Yeah, fuck. Sorry, Riker. And Crusher's like, "I want to meet Picard." And Riker's like, "Oh, have you two met?" And Wesley said, "When he was a child, Picard brought his father's body back to them." And Crusher says it was a long time ago. This adds a really weird aspect to Picard and Beverly.
It does. Yeah. It's the whole widow marrying passed on spouse's best friend.
Yeah, very weird.
I mean, like, it happens.
To be fair though, like Crusher isn't the only one that Picard.
No, they just have like an ongoing like thing, and at this point, they nothing has happened between them. They just like there's the tension of like the dead husband connection. I think her husband was like his superior officer.
I think so.
Yeah, that rings a bell. Yeah, Wes saying uncomfortable things like this, like it's like the creepy trope of a toddler who knows too much and has too big of a vocabulary, except that it's Wes, so it just feels like super awkward exposition.
Can I tell you something?
What?
Wesley Crusher reminds me of like an iPad kid. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Like a kid who if Wesley Crusher was around now, he would watch like Minecraft YouTube videos all the time.
Yeah.
He would wear little cargo shorts and like a Legend of Zelda t-shirt. And he would like, I don't know how to describe it. Like the most snot-nosed kid you can. That is him. He would have a Twitter account that has an unreasonable amount of followers, but is entirely unfunny. That is Wesley Crusher.
So we're getting a little ahead of ourselves, but like
I hate Wesley Crusher.
I'm annoyed by Wesley Crusher, but Maddie is very of the opinion that like it's the adults around Wesley not enforcing healthy boundaries for Wes and just letting him pretend to be a tiny adult instead of like encouraging him to just be a kid.
Yes, but also
He's still a little pain.
the issue is not like, oh, Wesley Crusher, the character, is so shitty. I hate him as a person. I hate the way that they wrote his character.
Yeah. Also knowing
and that includes like the relationships that he has with other people.
Yeah. And knowing that he's like sort of a write-in for Roddenberry is just, it's
sad.
It's weird.
Yeah, because it's like getting Freudian. That should be a tagline for this podcast. My name's Gene Roddenberry. I'm writing a self-insert character. What if I have a hot mom and my dad is dead? That's like Oedipal complex number 1. Like,
yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah. So Riker and LaForge meet up. My boy Geordi, who they do so dirty in the series. I want to like him so badly, and they just make him a shithead.
Yeah, well, I like him, except when he's doing something romantic.
He's like a weirdo incel.
He is.
And like,
really
no,
icky.
Geordi LaForge, if he was a real human being, would have a loving, caring wife who is 2 feet taller than him and very dominating. But what I'm trying to say is like, Geordi LaForge would get pussy. It's just like they didn't want to write in a character that Geordi LaForge would actually be able to fuck. Or a character like Geordi LaForge would be interested in, right?
Yeah, there's
that episode where he's like gets obsessed with that one engineering lady.
Yeah, that he programmed on the holodeck.
Which is so like weird because it's like you could just be like, here's Geordi LaForge having a romantic relationship with a real human woman like that.
There's something.
LeVar Burton, you deserved better.
I wonder if the writer's room just didn't know how to write romance for a black man.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Maybe? I don't know. Like, this is also something where, like, LaForge is entirely coded white. There's not, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they do the same thing to Harry, who is, like, one of the only,
yeah, he's, like, kind of fulfills a similar role to Geordi, where he's, like, a lovable dweeb.
And the lovable dweeb who never gets
any pussy.
Yeah, and is also an incel.
Yeah.
And, like, none of them are white.
Yeah, it's weird. Part of me is, like, this is a self-insert for someone like, not Roddenberry, Berman. That's the read that I get, where it's like, there was a Star Trek writer who, like, views himself as, like, Geordi LaForge is, like, what a nice guy thinks they are.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I am actually, like, a handsome enough, nice, actually, take that back. LeVar Burton is a very good-looking man.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm actually a handsome, nice guy who is like just a little bad socially, right? But and then they write them in these situations, and I get like the like sub thing where it's like same with Harry Kim, like actor's a good looking guy, right? And it's like,
yes,
and it,
dude, that episode where like he's aged, and they're like trying to do like some time travel-y shit. Do you remember that episode? No, fuck, because you didn't get that far. I didn't get that far in
Voyager.
Okay, he's a fucking silver fox.
Ugh, good.
I mean, like,
Drink, we're getting horny for a character. But, like, it's like, not only do we not know how to write romance for a black person, but also this character was modeled off of me, dweeb Star Trek writer in the writer's room, who never knew how to have romance myself.
That's some research I want to do, is, like, what the fuck was going on with the writing for Geordi.
Really, I think it was just, like, there's a reason why incels come out of, like, a nerd culture.
Yeah.
It's been there for a while. It's just like the rampant misogyny is now coming to head more,
Yeah. Let's see. I suppose we should get back on topic.
Yes. Sorry.
No, you're fine. Riker meets up with LaForge. They chat. And Riker beams up to the Enterprise. And Picard is a little bitch to him. He's a hard ass for no reason.
Yeah, Picard is like trying to like dick swing on Riker.
Yeah. He's like, okay, go watch the YouTube video of Q. So I don't want to explain this to you.
Here's the URL, Riker.
Yeah, scan this QR code.
Yeah.
And come back to me when you finish your homework.
Yeah.
And he's like, so when he goes back to him after watching the video of Q, Picard tells Riker that he wants him to perform a manual docking of the star drive section to the saucer section.
It's super hard.
Yeah, this is the dad handing the hunting knife to the kid and being like, go on, gut it.
Yeah, no, this is, I don't know if this is Picard being like a bitch or like, is clearly Picard being like, I'm your boss. You're going to fucking respect me. And I'm going to make you do hard shit. And this is, he's trying to establish this relationship of like a paternal thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I
fucked.
Yeah, I think that this reads in a way that makes sense when it was made.
In a corporate way. Because
Yeah.
Picard sees Riker as a threat to his authority because Riker is another strong male figure who is quite literally the second in command on the ship.
Yeah, it's but then like not one scene later they're cool.
Riker needed to be like, hey, you can't big dick me because I can do this kind of shit, right?
Yeah.
He does the manual docking correctly.
Yeah, and he pulls it off fine.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, I had notes on this one. Why does the rejoining of the saucer and star drive section read as penetration? It's like this slow approach.
Getting Freudian.
Tension in the room, and like Riker's like just standing and like giving verbal orders. Just like standing on the edge of the step for no reason, and his corporate catsuit is doing a lot for him.
Yeah, one, man whore Riker. Love it.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Go off, King. He's my hero.
Every time he smiles at someone,
I love him so much. Like
it's like he's just imagining doing something to you.
He just
all
only
the fucking time.
He only thinks about fucking.
Yeah.
Everything is about like that's my headcanon for him. He is just like trying to stick his dick in anything.
His behavior is just too genial sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I certainly understand that metaphor that you're proposing, but like I don't know about you, but I've never had penetration that was like so tense.
I mean, it's
like every time I have entered or been entered, it's been very like, all right, it's in, go. Like,
I mean, like it's in a pornography way, you know. It's not like
what
real
porn
sex.
are you watching?
Oh my god, I don't know. Do I have to? Well, okay, it's not.
What? Send me the URL.
Oh my god, it's not like, you know.
You're right, though.
A 1-to-1 ratio metaphor.
But you're right.
But like it's more like the energy in the room.
Yeah, no, it's like weirdly charged.
Yeah. And when he finishes pulling it off, everyone just like visibly relaxes and smiles and looks at him.
They all pull out a cigarette and they're like,
yeah,
oh, that was great. Their hair is all bedraggled.
Yeah, it's, I don't know. This feels like a train going into a tunnel.
Yeah.
Like that kind of shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Riker finishes his homework and goes back to Picard. And Picard's like, hey, bud, remember that time when you were under Captain DeSoto, you were second in command on the Hood, and you were on an away mission, and DeSoto wanted to beam down, and you wouldn't let him?
Yeah.
I guess you don't expect to respect authority, do you? And Riker's like, I do, except my job is to keep the captain alive.
Yeah.
And then Picard just like flipped. He's like, cool, great, we're friends now.
Yeah.
And it's like, did you have to do that, dude? Like,
I think it's also like people are having a hard time getting a grasp on, like the writers are having a hard time getting a grasp on both of their characters. Riker is like shown in this as being like very competent, smart, easygoing, kind of not super easygoing, but like sort of like, I don't know, he's the fun dad. If Riker and Picard are your two dads,
yes,
Riker's your fun dad, and Picard is your strict dad.
I feel like second in command is always the fun dad. Like Chakotay is the fun dad.
Janeway is also pretty fun.
She's fun, but Chakotay is like a little looser sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, who's the second in command on DS9?
I think technically that would be Kira, but yeah, I guess no. Cisco's the fun dad in that
Cisco's
situation.
the fun dad. I was gonna say if the secondary, because there isn't really like a super hard second in command.
Yeah, not
Jadzia
really.
could be because she's like an authority figure. She could be the fun dad.
Yeah, she's like the next in line as Starfleet.
As fun dad.
But
yeah.
like operationally, I think that is Kira. But
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Going back on topic.
Yep.
And then also like the very next thing that Picard has to say to him. Like the next thing he ever says to his new second in command is like,
can you help me with these kids?
yeah, like, why is that the top line of your agenda, bud? You're a starship captain of the flagship of the Federation. Why do you care about how kids feel about you?
I like the idea that Picard maybe is like if these kids are gonna grow up on my fucking ship, I should be like an authority figure that they feel that they can trust.
Yeah,
right.
That's fair.
And maybe Picard can't fill that role, but Riker can.
Yeah.
Riker is his fun vice president. He is
Yeah.
the I'm trying to think of an actually fun vice president. I don't know.
I mean, Joe Biden was really like he was a goofy vice president.
Yeah, before he had any kind of power, he was like a fun, goofy vice president.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, what if Picard's like one of those people who thinks that children are creepy?
I don't know. I think it could also be like Picard never was a kid.
Yeah.
He feels like that kind of person where like he doesn't get kids because when he was a kid, he was only thinking about like getting into Starfleet.
Yeah, that's an interesting take.
I feel like if you interview Wesley Crusher fucking 20 years into the future, he'd be like, yeah, I'm terrible with kids. Because Wesley Crusher, his entire life was like, I want to get into Starfleet. I'm thinking about Starfleet. I'm furthering my career in Starfleet. Like anyone who's ever been to like any big school and they're like, well, my entire childhood I was thinking about getting into a good college. And I forgot to be a kid.
Who has two thumbs and me.
You have to be a kid now. You have to make podcasts about Star Trek.
I mean, I'm playing video games now.
You're playing video games. We're sitting in a room full of pillows.
Yeah. Okay, let's see.
Geordi's in the sick bay.
Yeah, so Geordi's like getting his visor checked out by Beverly, and it's like exposition times. Like, here's why I'm wearing this visor.
Because he's blind.
Yeah, and here's here's how it works. Apparently, he would like shut his eye because like oftentimes he was in the background of a shot.
Yeah.
And like, you pull like 16-hour days when you're shooting a show like this.
Yeah.
And he would just like shut his eyes because he had the visor on. He could do that.
Pimp. What a king. Take a look. It's in a book, Reading Rainbow. I love you, LeVar Burton.
Yes.
DM me.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, they fucking show off McCoy in this. Isn't McCoy like 120 years old or some shit?
Yeah. So McCoy, the Admiral, is 139. Pre-established, the life expectancy of this era is 120. So that's like, I don't know,
like living to 100.
It's like the Speaker of the House working at 82. Oh wait.
Yeah. Who could think of that?
It's like, bud, just enjoy retirement. Go home.
No, he's fucking McCoy. You can't do that.
Oh, Jesus.
Spock is in this show at one point too, right?
Yeah, he shows up later. He's like,
Vulcans live longer though, don't they?
I think they do.
Yeah, they're like elves. They're really like the Vulcans are just space elves.
Well, because Tuvok it is like 72.
He's like 60.
Something.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like he's like middle of his life, middle aged, I think.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, I like how McCoy doesn't trust transporters. He also doesn't eat GMOs and he believes in chemtrails.
McCoy has been listening to Alex Jones. What would Alex Jones be in Star Trek? Not the Maquis. The Maquis are cool.
Do you remember in DS9 where Worf and Jadzia go on a date to Risa, and there's like the conservatives that are like, you guys are soft pussies and you gotta harden up.
Yeah.
Because you're on vacation, how dare you relax?
Yeah, and he's also like, we need to turn off the thing that doesn't turn our planet into like a shit show.
Yeah, a swamp.
That's that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think he'd be part of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so Data's like, why wouldn't you just transport over? It would save a bunch of time, and given your age, I think you want to like save time. Yeah, he's like, oh, what about my age? It's the whole like, I don't know. I feel like this is a thing that people do when they're older of like acting offended, but then acting like, oh no, it's fine.
Yeah. McCoy is primo boomer.
Yeah. But I love that line where Data's like, if your age troubles you, I don't have to talk about it. And he's like, troubles me? Why would I be troubled about not being dead? Yeah, great line. Love that conversation.
Yeah.
I also like how they gave Data the job of giving the tour all day to the Admiral. Like they picked no one wanted to do it except Data, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure they picked Data because he's the only one who can endure it.
Yeah. I'm also envisioning like a college campus tour style tour.
But it's fucking Data.
Yeah, and Data's like walking backwards a little too well.
Yeah.
Like dealing with some shithead teenager that
Here
doesn't
at
want to be on the tour.
Starfleet Academy. Like, yeah.
This is the cafeteria in the dorm. I never go here. Oh, that line that McCoy has right when they're like closing the scene, like treat the Enterprise like a lady. I don't.
Why?
Yeah, I don't have words for that shit. Like
treat the Enterprise like a lady. Disrespect it heavily.
Like the viewing a ship as female thing that like we do to boats already, like now.
Very weird. It's also for the guitar because lore drop. I'm a guitarist. Where it's like, oh yeah, I named my guitar Avery or something like that. It's like, oh, she's a woman. I treat my guitar like a woman. It's like you want to fuck your guitar. It's so weird. You want to control your guitar? You want to grip its neck heavily? Like,
oh,
same with the Enterprise. It's like, oh yeah, treat the Enterprise like a lady. You are in command of it constantly.
Yeah,
like, weird.
Yeah, yeah. You can tell when the show was made.
Yeah.
Okay, so next scene opens. Q is on screen, and Worf jumps up to like shoot it.
And Picard is like, "You fucking dumbass."
Yeah, Worf is not this dumb.
Worf is not this dumb.
I think also like I don't really know what Klingons were quite like in the original series, but
all I know about them is that they were just blackface.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like not even like the way that like blackface is like when Klingons are blackface in TNG. Like they were like straight up blackface.
Yes.
The Fu Manchu.
It's like it was just shoe polish.
Yeah.
But I feel like they're trying to transition because also I think he's the first or like almost the only Klingon in Starfleet.
Yeah.
And so it's like they're trying to establish what a Klingon in Starfleet looks like and acts like.
And they're like a dumbass.
Yeah. He's not that dumb. He's supposed to be a good warrior.
Worf actually, as his character develops, he proves himself to be like one of the smarter people on the Enterprise. He makes a lot of like prudent and introspective analysis about a lot of shit. Like especially in DS9.
Yeah.
Where you see him a lot. Like him and Martok in the fucking jail with Garrick, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is like very like Worf is like very wise. He's allowed to be very smart in that.
Yeah.
And in this, they're just like, he's gonna shoot a TV because you don't know better. Like,
yeah. I mean, this is the first episode, so that kind of makes sense. And I guess I'm just glad that they didn't stick with that like character conception of him.
Yeah.
Also, his makeup is so bad at this point in the show.
Oh yeah.
He looks like coffee that's been sitting on your desk for like a week.
Yeah.
Like that's the color.
They also don't get really good at the Klingon makeup until DS9, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least a couple seasons into this.
Yeah, it takes them a minute.
Yeah.
I saw a thing that his forehead ridges changed from season 1 to season 2. It's because the prosthetic got stolen, and so they had to remake one. And the new prosthetic like looks a lot better.
Yeah.
So like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, all right. Let's see. Yeah, Worf is a big dumb pile of muscles, and he has a dump truck ass from day one.
He has a nice ass.
Yes.
Yeah, he does.
Drink. We're horny.
Drink. Yeah. 11 to 24 hours have passed. Nobody really knows what the fuck is going on. Yeah, and Riker and Picard are in the ready room. They're talking about shit, and Picard is like, you know, who cares, Riker? And he's like, and like about that shit, but he just talked to Q, and he's like, I don't know about all this like materializing shit, you know, even though he just got sent to the past.
The cognitive dissonance is interesting. I don't know, like any time in Star Trek where someone's like, it's time travel, and someone's like, nah, it's like,
how many times has that happened?
Yeah, like
Kirk time traveled like 7 times.
Like how often is it when someone says it's time travel? Is it not time travel? Or, or like any other weird shit.
Well, and like, isn't there the episode of DS9 where they like they have an established agency for time travel because of Kirk?
Yeah,
like they basically have like Men in Black for time travel.
Yes,
that fucking rocks.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so they leave the ready room and boom, they just walk into Troy, and Picard's like, oh yeah, Troy's joining us for the away mission, and Riker. Like, they just have big goo-goo eyes.
Immediately there. Well, okay, this is the thing, right? Riker is perpetually horny, and she's, like, picking up on his vibes, even though she's supposed to be his counselor. Bad therapist count number 1.
Well, also, they had a previous relationship.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
And they stopped the relationship because Riker's Starfleet posting took him too far away.
And now they can blink again.
They could. Yeah, because she calls him Imzadi, or Ismat, whatever. I always put the Z in the wrong spot.
Yeah.
Which means darling. This is that moment that you're always rehearsing for while staring into the middle distance in the sonic shower while you dissociate.
Yeah. Riker definitely spent a lot of time thinking about that.
Yeah.
I feel like Troy was like, I can get dick slung elsewhere, right? Although I feel like Riker's good at fucking. I believe Riker's good at fucking.
Of course.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Troy also seems very vulnerable and has feels in this moment too.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think this is also based off of like my perceptions of the character after this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're head over heels for each other. They do like the whole like, oh, you're from my past and I've just bumped into you. Oh my god.
I think they
oh my god, do you want to come into the sonic shower with me? That is Riker's inner monologue. That's not Troy's inner monologue. That is Riker's inner monologue.
Of course.
Riker in his head is like, constantly. Put that noise in the intro.
Always ooh face.
Oh, yeah. Riker is an anime character.
Yeah. With the way he like throws his eyebrows up all the time, absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my god, anime about Riker when?
Oh yes. All right, let's see.
They meet up, so they meet up with Zorn on this like away mission, and Zorn is like, "You're a Betazoid. This is kind of fucked." And Troy is like, "You're cool. We're cool. Don't worry about it."
Yeah, yeah. She's like, it's an uncomfortable line of dialogue of, "Oh, don't worry. I'm only half telepathic race. I'm cool." Like.
Very strange. Zorn is a racist.
Yeah, not to be like, oh, you know,
if someone could fucking read my mind, I would be like,
Yeah, I'd be like, why'd you bring this person to my business meeting? I have enough trouble controlling my bitch face.
Yeah, well, okay. In Warhammer,
oh my god,
there are these individuals called psychers. Who have a connection.
Every episode you have a budget of 4 Warhammer references.
4 Warhammer references. Okay.
I think you're at 3.
3, okay. There are these things called psychers who have psychic abilities, but the thing is they connect to this thing called the warp, which is also where all like the demons in Warhammer are, right?
Okay.
And so people are like it depends on the psyker, but like normal people who are psychers tend to be like a little unhinged and like unsteady because they're constantly in communication with this fucking thing that demons are from, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so like there's a part of it where it's like, yeah, psychers are prosecuted constantly in this world, and like, you know, they're only accepted because they have utility in this world. But another part of me is like, I don't know, like if I knew someone who was like constantly connected to demons, would I be cool with that? Like, and like I feel like it's the same case here, where it's like, if I knew there was someone who could constantly read my emotions while I was like talking to them, I would never talk to them.
Yeah, it's just an unfair advantage, especially in a diplomatic discussion. But anyway, let's see, where are we on here? Oh, so Zorn is obviously covering up something. He's not answering straightforward questions. I guess we should probably like establish for those who have not seen the episode in a long time.
Yeah.
Did they even say like the name of the like who his people are?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Which is weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zorn.
Excuse me.
Wow. Zorn's people, like they built this starbase kind of in the same way that countries build giant Olympic arenas to lure the Olympics to their country, or like how Milwaukee built an ass ton of hotels for the 2020 DMC. Yeah.
And
that never happened. Yeah. So they built this space station, but he won't answer like simple questions about how it got there, how they built it. And Starfleet's like, bitch, this smells weird.
I'm not into it. You know?
Yeah. Starfleet not only looks a gift horse in the mouth, it counts their teeth.
Yeah. They're like, this is fucking suspect.
Yeah. Zorn is such a bad liar. I'm an awful liar. I'm a better liar than Zorn.
Zorn is a fucking terror. It also doesn't help that like Troy can just be like, I sense loneliness and pain, right? Like,
yeah. So she starts picking up like a signal, but it's not anyone in the room.
Yeah, and this is like sort of the leading on point, because I think earlier when they're like, oh yeah, Riker gets the apples now, and the purple thing gets the gold thing, right? In my mind, I'm like, oh, this is Q, right? Like this is
Right.
this is Q fucking with them. But
Mm-hmm.
now it's like, oh, Zorn's acting suspect, and these events occurred exclusively at Farpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're like, you kind of get this inkling, oh shit, this isn't Q. This is something else, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's like a fun little like twist, because you see like Q do kind of similar shit in the bridge earlier, and it's like, no. He doesn't have his hands in any of this. This is Zorn. You know?
Yeah. He's the ambiguity serves the plot well here. Oh yeah, Zorn is like, if you're not gonna take up the space station, I guess I'll just have to offer it to the Ferengi. And Picard's like, great, bud, go for it. Have fun.
Yeah. The line is, fine, let's hope they find you as tasty as they did their past associates. Fucking weird.
I think
this is before they're ever like,
yeah,
the Ferengi are like this group, but that's really weird when you consider how like coded as Jews the Ferengi are, where it's like, yes, they will eat you. Like,
I wonder if with this line they're kind of leaving open the plot possibilities of like, maybe they are cannibalistic with humanoids, or it could just be like, they're ruthless and they'll exploit you.
Yeah, or maybe Picard is just trying to fuck with them.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fun line. It lands well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then we go back up to the ship.
Yeah, Data is hanging out in his forest simulation, right? And he's trying to learn to whistle.
Yeah.
And Riker's like, hello, Data. Come hang out with me.
Yeah. So he's whistling Pop Goes the Weasel.
Yeah.
And Star Trek does this thing all the time where they use like public domain IP. They do a lot of Shakespeare, Robin Hood, which Shakespeare has got to be copyrighted by somebody, right?
No, Shakespeare's
is that public domain?
It's public domain.
Okay.
I think you can get like rights to make movies and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure you can't have the right to like perform. You can't, like, Shakespeare is such a like considered like a like cultural landmark that it's like you can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Star Trek always uses public domain shit, and it's probably just about budgeting.
Yeah.
They probably don't want to spend the money on like,
Lord
writing a song.
Yeah.
Or like, actually buying the rights to another song.
Yeah.
And like I get the logistic budget reason as to why it's like that, but it just makes everyone seem so naive and quaint. Like as a culture, like Jean-Luc Picard sings Frere Jacques to himself and to the kids when they're like stuck in the turbo lift a couple seasons on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. There's something about singing Frere Jacques.
It's kind of cute.
It's cute, but like, it's along those same lines of quaintness.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, I buy Data singing Pop Goes the Weasel, because if you're trying to learn like whistling, something simple like that might like work.
That's fair.
But like, I think with a lot of the stuff, like, think about it this way: you're 2,000 years in the future. What aspects of culture are going to be around still? It's not going to be like the aspects of cultures that are around are not going to be like.
Oh, this is only 500 years in the future.
500 years in the future.
Yeah.
After an atomic war.
Yeah.
Think about what's going to continue to exist, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're sure as hell not going to have another Star Wars movie after World War III, like. So I can kind of buy it in certain ways, where it's like the only things that survive are these like incredibly proliferated pop culture pieces.
Yeah, but there's a lot of like historical knowledge that they show off later down the line that is nuanced. So I don't know. I was just thinking about that general thing, but
yeah, no, I get that. I do think it is like a little like quaint and weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has the feel of like a community theater group.
Yeah. No, it's very like high school theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to talk about Riker leaping across the rocks.
Yeah. Like
the way he moves. It's like...
It's very gangly and funny.
Yes. And it's like he's still getting used to how to move in the jumpsuit.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like they have pockets.
It's the shoes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when I don't have pockets in my outfit, I never know what to do with my hands when I'm moving around.
Yeah.
And I feel like he's suffering from the same issue.
He doesn't know what to do with his hands.
Yeah. And I'm sure Troy's dress, beautiful, super impractical, definitely doesn't have pockets. Pockets are a human right.
Yes, correct.
This is a war crime that they don't have pockets.
It's also so impractical, right?
Yeah.
Like, where the fuck are you gonna carry your phaser? Like, oh, I keep my phaser on my belt. Like, that's because shit's gonna fall off.
Yeah. I mean, at least with
Get a holster for that shit, or a pocket, or like in like the military is like they always wear cargo pants because you have a fucking 8 pockets. You can keep all the shit you need in, and it's like you can just close it with a button, and there's no chance it's fucking getting out.
Yeah. I mean, once you get to DS9 and you get like the new jumpsuit that is not a cat suit, like
Yeah,
there do seem to be pockets and there's like an aspect of a belt you can attach stuff to. But like O'Brien is always carrying around a toolbox.
yeah. Like, why?
Yeah, and most of his tools are like yay big and could fit in a pocket.
Well, also like I don't know, like what sonic screwdriver bullshit they have in Star Trek.
Yeah.
But I feel like there should just be like one tool that O'Brien can use.
He definitely has several tools.
The one of them looks like a sonic screwdriver.
It does. Yeah. There's like a hyper spanner. Is that the name of another one that he uses all the time? Anyway,
I thought a hyperspanner was a Star Wars thing.
I think you're thinking of hyperdrive. And
Maybe
that's their like warp.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm telling you this because I don't know.
I swear to God, I remember a line from Empire Strikes Back where Han's like, Chewie, give me the fucking hyperspanner.
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, Data is like, Riker, I'd like to be a human boy. Can you tell I'm a modern Pinocchio?
Riker literally calls him Pinocchio.
Yeah.
At first Riker is like, yeah, I am a little nervous around you. You are superhuman.
You're a fucking robot. Yeah.
And then Data's like, you are correct. I am superior.
Bitch.
But then he's like, but you know, I'd be cool if I were human. And I don't know. It's interesting that at the beginning of the scene, Riker is a little like not sure about Data, but then like I think like the last line of the scene is Riker saying like, I think you're going to be an interesting companion.
Yeah, I think Riker is like, oh, this clearly is like Data means no harm. There's nothing really that dangerous about him unless like something was to go wrong or something like that. You know, maybe there's a character named Lore who occurs.
Something like that.
Something like that. But I get the feeling Riker's like, oh, this is kind of like Data's harmless, you know?
Yeah, I think that Riker at first is like, wow, this dude could break my neck in a second if he wanted to. But by the end of the scene, he's like, he's more predictable than that.
And it's also like, think about how unthreatening the scene is, right? They're in this fucking river thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And then Wesley, oh my God.
Yeah, and clearly it's like some Andy and Opie shit where like not Andy and Opie. What the fuck is it called?
I don't know. What are you referring to?
The show where it opens and there's whistling and they fucking go fishing. It's like on the Andy Griffith show. Andy and Opie was like fucking hit something in my head. But like it's like some Andy Griffith shit where it's like it like reminds me of the intro to DS9 where it's like Jake is in the fucking
yeah
and
on the holodeck.
It's very like Data is just like kind of like he just wants to be a guy. Like there's not a lot to it. He's puts himself in this very unthreatening position. He's fucking whistling "Pop Goes the Weasel."
Yeah, it's kind of like if one of those robot police dogs was practicing hopscotch or something.
It's like if it acted like Pigeon.
Yes.
Yeah, like
dopey little noodle man.
You guys have no context for this. I always say Pigeon looks like he should be a jazz musician, and I'm envisioning one of those dogs playing jazz.
Yeah, it helps that he wears a lot of turtlenecks.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Yeah,
that's why. I think it's also because he has that like weird, like kind of nervous aura about him. Where I'm like, you should be like a tiny little writer or something, or a jazz musician. You know.
What do you think Pigeon plays?
Saxophone, specifically the kind of saxophone that Kenny G plays.
Yeah.
Either that or like the trumpet.
I could see him doing. Yeah, you know, I'm sticking with sax.
Yeah, he's a little saxophone man.
Yeah. Anyway. Oh yeah, so Wes walks in on them. Never walk in on a holo program
there
while
should be
it's
an
running.
option to lock the fucking door because if you
a
lock
doorbell.
Because like okay, like if I had access to a holodeck, I would be fucking everything.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. Like we're all like, oh, Barkley is weird because he's like, you know, fulfilling his fantasies, but like we would all be fucking various celebrities and porn stars. Like it's way weirder because it's personal because it's like people who are in his life. But like, why would you do that? Like, why would you like? It's It's like being like, Riker is alone in his room and there's a sock on his door and I hear this moaning from the other side. I'm gonna walk in. Like,
yeah. Oh my god. Let's see. Oh yeah. Wesley walks in unannounced.
falls into the pond.
Bad move, Wesley. Knock first. Falls in the pond immediately. And
Data saves his ass.
yeah. That was so goofy. That was such a goofy like series of like
shots and shit.
yes. And like
I'm envisioning Brett Spiner as a member of the cast of Baywatch, like him and David Hasselhoff together.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
You can tell that the actor is trying to like jump around in a way that like denotes that he's very spry as a android.
He's like very like leaping.
Yeah, but he just looks so goofy, and I don't know if it's the jumpsuit or if I don't know.
It's like he's like doing a fucking like exaggerated cartoon motion versions of it.
Yeah. He looks like he should be wearing a costume and on a stage at Disneyland. The way he's moving.
Yes, Data. Another image. Data is Spider-Man on a soundstage.
Yes.
Yeah, and that happens, and Data saves his ass, and Wesley's like, "Gee willikers, man, thank you," and everyone's like, "Shut the fuck."
I really enjoy the scene when they leave the holodeck and they run into Picard, and
Picard's like, "You're getting my carpet wet."
Yeah, it's very making a mess at your uncle's house, and the uncle being like, "Kid, go
dude?
clean up."
Yeah.
Like the uncle's house that was it's not kid proofed. It's not made for kids to hang out in. Everything's too clean.
He does not like you that much. Like he's very tangentially knows you. He's like, I hang out with you when I have to.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Back on Deneb 4, the await team goes to the underground tunnels in, I think it's under the old city.
Mm-hmm.
And Troy picks up the signal again. I thought the design of the tunnels was pretty cool. Like the ceiling looked like vaulted ceilings in medieval churches a bit.
The caves look cool. Like Star Trek, especially Next Gen, they reuse like one cave set specifically a bunch.
Yeah.
But it looks good. The big advantage of Star Trek, and this is really what I like about it, is like, yes, it's fucking chipboard walls or whatever, right? And it's all painted like a fucking theater set, right? But it has its like own little charm to it that I really like. Like it's like really like fun and cool, and it's like, oh, this is like nice, It feels a little like Disneyland-esque.
Yeah. I like how in this scene Geordi is the walking talking tricorder, and Troy is also a walking talking emotional tricorder.
Yeah. They're like navigating based on that shit.
They don't really stay in the scene very long. Like they just like cut back up to the ship. So we're in sickbay. Wesley comes to visit Beverly and like
tugs on her skirt a little bit and goes like, Mom, let me see the bridge, Mom.
Yeah. But Beverly's a cool mom. She's like, yeah, okay, let's go to the bridge.
Yeah, I want to go see this bridge. Yeah, sounds fucking cool.
She looks a little bit like, yeah, let's break the rules, kid. Let's go. Like,
I love Beverly so much. She's like one of my favorite characters. I think Beverly Crusher, #1 Star Trek crush for me. One of them. I have an affinity for MILFs. But her as a character is like so fun. She's like very confident, but she's not like an asshole the way that like the Starfleet people are.
Yeah.
Where like she never feels the need to like express her power and like dominate others, right? She's always just very like, I'm here to do a fucking job. It's also why I like O'Brien so much.
Yeah.
She's like such a relatable, like kind of down to earth character where it's like, I'm just a person who does my fucking job.
Yeah. I mean, I think the difference is that they're not at a management level.
Yeah.
Like they're doing the thing that they're skilled at.
She's head of sickbay though.
Yeah. But she has assistants, but it's not like she's like just like, sitting in a chair and telling people what to do like Picard is.
Yeah, that's true.
Like she's in there practicing her trade.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so they go up to the bridge. Beverly apparently has not seen Picard yet and hasn't seen Picard since the death of her husband.
Yeah.
So, turbo lift opens and Picard looks around.
And he's like, what the fuck is this kid doing?
Yeah. And for some reason, realizing that Wesley
is Wesley.
Yeah, is her kid.
Yeah.
just it like all of a sudden he goes into goo goo eyes. And I was like, why is it that this piece of information is what like gets your heart going for Beverly?
Wants a matronly figure.
I don't know. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, Picard is at first annoyed that there's a kid on his bridge, and then Beverly's like, he's not on the bridge, but he's in the turbo lift. And I like how in the show Bible, Troy is specifically noted as witty, and
then,
she's not at all in this episode. And then Beverly is just coming out swinging right away.
Yeah, no, she's funny.
Yeah,
she's quirky. She's hot. Like,
yes.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry. This is why we're doing the episode, so we can talk about our Star Trek crushes.
So true. So true. No, and it's like funny, and it's like a cute little interaction.
Yeah, and then like Picard's like, oh, you can come look at the bridge. He's obviously like feeling like he wants to like do something nice for like a gesture or something for Wesley and Beverly.
Because he wants to fuck Beverly.
Yeah, but then he lets Wesley sit in the captain's chair, and things fly off the handles in 3 seconds flat. Wesley knows how to like read all the stuff on the con, and Picard's like, how do you know that? Get out of my chair. It's like finding out that your
8-year-old knows how to drive. Like,
like he knows like, oh, my 3rd grader is a hacker.
Yeah, my 3rd grader knows how to operate a firearm. Like,
are you smarter than a 5th grader?
I'm not smarter than Leslie Crusher, apparently. It's fucking hilarious though, because it's like, what Anakin Skywalker bullshit is this?
Yeah.
I'll try spinning. That's a good trick. Like, it's the same shit where he's like, no, you learn that shit from just like reading a bunch of books as the baby child that he is. Like,
yeah. I wonder if there's holodeck simulations that he could have like run.
Yeah. Maybe? I don't know.
That seems like a breach of security though.
That also
like to just have like
that also seems kind of dangerous.
Yeah, like a publicly available schematics of the flagship of
here you go. Here's the Romulans enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then a fucking ship shows up.
Yeah, glowing saucer.
They talk to Zorn, and Zorn's like, "Go fuck yourself. I don't know nothing about this."
Yeah,
right?
Is Zorn on this planet's surface at this point? I think
so.
Yeah. The number of times they go back to talk to Zorn, and the conversation is absolutely unproductive. I'm like, you could have cut 7 minutes out of this episode because you didn't need to talk to Zorn this many times.
Yeah. So I'm gonna be real. This episode kind of sucks.
Not the best pilot, but I don't know. I feel like, to me, pilots are always tedious.
That's true, because you have to introduce all the characters and such, and with an ensemble cast like this, you have to establish a lot of characters.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the alien ship that just popped up scans Enterprise, and the way that they do the special effects of the scan is this like purple and blue lighting.
Yeah.
They get scanned with bisexual lighting.
They do.
Oh yeah, so then the alien ship begins attacking the planet, and it's only targeting the old Bandy City. Yeah,
the abandoned city, yeah.
Yeah, it's
old Bandy City, abandoned city.
Do you think they meant to do that? Yeah, so let's see. Away team that's under the old city loses contact. Riker sends half the team up to the ship, beams them up, and then he goes in with Data to check out what the heck is going on. And Troy is like, no, don't go, you'll get hurt. And it's like, Troy, you are a lieutenant.
It's war, motherfucker.
Yeah, or not even just war. This is just protocol. And you like,
you'll get hurt, Riker. Oh, I'm a woman. I can't have a character outside of wanting to fuck this man.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, I think this might also just be like
Virgin Troy versus Chad Crusher. Really the theme of this episode.
Oh, Troy's absolutely not a virgin.
No, but like, the Virgin versus Chad meme.
No.
Okay, never mind. That'll be something for me and the listeners.
Let's see. Oh yeah, when they're in the caves, Yar goes, my God, is that a phaser blast? It's like, is this the same Yar that was just yelling at an omnipotent being yesterday?
Wanted to kill Q. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Picard starts to suspect that Zorn obviously knows more than he's letting on. And Picard says, like, calms down to Riker and is like, hey bud, how do you feel about illegally kidnapping this guy? And Riker's like, I'm down to clown. Let's do it.
Fuck it, who cares?
This could possibly have been written by an ex-cop in the 80s.
No way is this violating the Prime Directive, you know?
Also, like, Picard straight up forgot that Alexa is listening. Like, and this is
True.
he's being graded right now.
No, Q would be listening. It's like, the fuck, dude.
Yeah.
You told me you would be cool, and then you weren't. Like,
yeah.
Let's
see. They find Zorn, but then he's beamed up to the alien ship. Picard orders the phasers to be prepared to shoot the ship.
Yeah.
And then Q appears.
And he's like, Picard, you're such a little bitch, baby.
Yeah.
You are breaking all your own rules. You're so fucking stupid.
You little dum-dum.
And he's right.
Yeah, he is. And...
Oh, mon capitaine. You're such a dumb bitch. Also, Q, I don't know if... maybe I'm just exporting feelings about later episodes, like the one where Q shows up in Picard's bed, but he wants to fuck Picard so bad, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like Q wants to have ravenous butt sex with Picard.
Q has a type, and it's Star Trek captains or Starfleet captains.
Yeah, he's always trying to fuck that. He struck out with Cisco.
Did he show up in DS9?
Yeah, he did. There's one episode, and Cisco's like, "Go fuck yourself, get out of my house." And
man, I don't remember that. Do you remember what season that was?
First season.
Okay, I don't often watch the first season.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if you've gotten this far into the episode, I think we can establish that the first 1.5 seasons of any Star Trek material is bullshit. So if you don't like this, you are obligated to keep listening.
Yeah, listen for 1.5 seasons for us, please.
Mm-hmm.
Or I'll yell at you on the internet like people did about Discovery when they were like, "It's gonna get good. It's just early Trek." No, it didn't.
Yeah, well, this is why people are mad about Lower Decks, because it was good from the beginning. Therefore, it's not Trek.
That's so true. Lower Decks was charming and interesting from the first episode, and therefore it's not real Trek. Not because it's animated. It's not real Trek because it was good.
Yeah, I can't take credit for that joke. I definitely saw a meme that said that. I feel like I have messed up the order of events here, because Picard goes to visit Beverly and like has a heart-to-heart with her, and then I think
that's before Q shows up.
Yeah, I probably put that bullet point in the wrong spot. But yeah, so Picard goes to sickbay to talk to Beverly, to be like, "Oh, sorry that this is awkward as fuck.
Sorry that I delivered your husband's corpse, and also I want to have sex with you."
Yeah. But he's like, "Oh, I'd get it if you don't like want to stick around here. I can reassign you," without like asking how she's feeling.
Yeah.
He's just assuming that she's just like, wound up here, and she's like, I picked to be here, dude.
Yeah.
I asked to be here.
Because she's a fucking Chad.
Because she's a fucking professional.
Yeah, because she's a fucking Chad. Big dick swinging Beverly Slasher.
Okay, so we're back to Q, I think.
Q, he's like, "I expected force from you, Picard. You're a bitch." And, when the motives of the ship, should be clear. Like, the ship wants to fucking blow them up. That's like what the vibe they're getting, right?
Yeah.
I kind of forgot this part of the episode.
I mean, I feel like things get a little convoluted at the end. Like, it's a little hard to follow the thread, I feel. It's like they took too long to parse out the story, and now
rushing the end. They're rushing the climax.
Yeah.
Yeah. I should stand closer to my mic.
Yeah. So Picard tells Worf to
bring that shit in.
Cock block the ship from shooting the city.
Yeah.
And then Worf's like, got bad news for you, bud. My steering wheel doesn't work anymore.
Steering machine broke, Captain.
And it's like, obviously Q is messing with the ship.
Yeah.
He's totally like screwing with the study test.
Because he wants to kill a bunch of humans.
What?
Because he wants to kill a bunch of humans.
He creates his own drama. That's his thing.
He is the drama.
Yes.
Q is the it girl.
Yeah.
We love him for it. Go off.
Okay, so they find Zorn, and Zorn's like,
Zorn
cool, I'll explain what the fuck is going on. Zorn gets beamed over to the alien ship, and Riker beams over there with an away team.
He's like, let me do it. Let me be the good boy today.
Yeah, and when they beam over, they realize the inside of the ship looks just like the tunnels under the city.
Yeah. That was a cool reveal.
Yeah. At this point, it's obvious that Zorn is exploiting somebody and he's being punished for it.
And you see Zorn fucking midair getting tortured, and they shoot their fucking phasers to free him.
Mm-hmm. Dude, the phasers are the supersonic screwdriver, whatever the fuck, from Doctor Who.
They fucking are.
They do everything.
They're like lightsabers. You can use them for fucking anything.
It's a staple gun lightsaber.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so then Picard tries to beam them back, can't do it. Q's obviously gumming up the tubes, not letting them come back. And this time when he shows up, he's dressed as a Starfleet captain.
Yeah.
He is the drama, and he loves putting on different outfits. It's always a fashion show for Q.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Picard's like, Q, let me bring my people back. And
don't be such a bitch, Q.
Yeah. Q won't let them. And Picard's like, I'll do anything. And as soon as his line is over, they get beamed over.
Yeah.
And
he's like, Q then crawls into bed with Picard.
Yeah, Q's immediately like, I will collect on that promise. And Picard is immediately like,
he's gonna fuck me.
Yeah. It's the like Kermit the Frog like face going on.
Yeah. He looks into the camera and he makes the Jim from The Office face.
Yes. And Troy is like, actually, you didn't do that. The alien ship did that. Yeah, so they realize that this alien that is the space station can transform its like material, corporeal form, and they've forced it to shapeshift into this super fancy space station. Yeah. And like they give it, there's some aspect of the planet, like energy is like a natural resource in some way. Like I wonder if it's like geothermal or something.
Well, like phaser energy, I suppose it could be like, I mean, I imagine phasers is like plasma or some kind of laser because it rhymes with laser. But like, it's like that idea that like, yes, there is actual matter or light in this. And it's like, oh, maybe this is like photosynthesis or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, also like at the beginning of the episode, they're discussing that their main export is energy.
Yeah.
They don't have material goods that they export.
They just have like big power plants and shit like that.
Yeah. I don't know. They probably were like, we can't cram too much information into this episode, but that would have been an interesting aspect of.
Yeah. Like they sell energy, but where the fuck are all their power plants or something like that?
Yeah. Or like, do you just have like a lot of like radioactive like material in the mantle of this planet?
Is your core really hot or something like that? And you use geothermal or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah. I think with any like, M-class planet, like solid land, I think it has to have that really hot core. I think that's just how physics would work.
Yeah. And it would be like, or like, I don't know, maybe there's something about it where like harvesting geothermal is somehow easier or something like that.
Yeah. I don't fucking know. But yeah, so they realize that this spaceship alien thing is just starving and is too weak to break itself free. So they use their phasers to feed it some energy. Like they give him a Cliff Bar and a Gatorade. He's like, "Great, I'm ready to go."
You're not you when you're hungry.
Yeah,
have a phaser. Like,
thing breaks loose, comes up to space. They let down their tendrils. Turns out they're giant space jellyfish.
And they're gonna fuck. And
then they have blue avatar hair sex.
Yeah. And then Riker and Troy look deeply into each other's eyes and the comfortably numb solo plays. And it's like, and Picard is like trying to look at Beverly, but Beverly is too busy looking at like alien sex. That's
yes.
Headcanon time.
This is the Letterkenny episode where they're all showing each other the porn that they watch at the bar. But it's only Beverly watching the porn that no one asked for.
Yeah, she's Gail. Like she's like, oh wow, this is interesting. Maybe she's got
Gail.
Yeah, maybe she's got a like tentacle thing because I feel like the ghost thing that can like really fulfill that.
Yeah.
Who knows?
I could see that. Who made the Avatar movie with the blue people?
James Cameron.
James Cameron. Do you think James Cameron saw this episode and was like, really into the hair sex and like built a whole world around it?
I don't think so, but I do I do believe that now, and I'm going to continue to say that. If I ever like met James Cameron, I would ask him that question.
This is
like, have you seen the first two episodes of Star Trek Next Generation?
Mm-hmm.
Did you take the hair fucking thing from there? Like,
yeah. I mean, it looks like it is the same, you know?
Yeah, but it's like literally like them like locking hair.
Yeah. Yeah, this is my newest conspiracy theory. I don't have a lot that I believe in, but I believe in this one.
I'm gonna come into like your house the next time that we record, and you're gonna have a whole wall dedicated to that with like a red fucking yarn and shit.
Yes. Along with my Enterprise schematics, so that we can speak accurately about what the fuck's going on with the ship.
That would actually that would be pretty fun to have.
Yeah. I was trying to find like a picture on the internet, but it all seems like proprietary. You have to like buy it.
Yeah, I'm not sure because like I don't know if Star Trek has this, but in Star Wars, in Star Wars, they used to have these books that were like the complete guide to ships and technology in Star Wars, and it's like, here's a schematic of the Millennium Falcon. I wonder if there's like something for that like that for Star Trek.
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
Yeah.
But yeah, so jellyfish leave. Picard's like,
that was hot.
Picard's like, I have some ideas.
Picard's like, Beverly, I have an idea for us. I have to grow my hair out though.
Yeah, but so Q's like, yeah, you got me this time. See you again, bitch. Bye.
Q's like, this is not over, ho. Like he's like, you will. Q is gaily evil. I'm so into it.
I'll be back with a mariachi band.
Yeah. I love him so much. He's like, I don't know. I mean, I don't think I'm this much of an asshole, but I do think if I was given like the Q powers, that would like that fucking like I would do that.
You'd be a troll.
Yeah.
Yeah. Q leaves and everyone goes back to their stations, and Picard and Riker are sitting in their chairs on the bridge, and Riker is not obviously preoccupied or anything. They're just sitting in silence for like a beat, and then Picard's like, "Penny for your thoughts, bud." Go press like, Latinum strip for your thoughts.
And Riker's like, I've never been this hard in my life.
Yeah, no, Riker's like, I'm just wondering if all of our missions are going to be like this.
Am I going to see an alien fuck?
Every day.
Every day. Yeah. And can I be involved?
Yeah. And he's like, I think his exact line is, are all our missions going to be this interesting? And Picard's like, no, Riker, or no, number one, I don't, or whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
He's like, no, they'll be far more interesting or whatever.
And he's like, you'll be involved in the next one.
This is Picard looking straight into camera and speaking
like,
to the viewer.
And being like, tune in next time.
Yeah.
Same star place, same Trek time. Like,
yeah, like, don't worry, viewer, it gets better.
Yeah. Please don't turn this off because the ending of this was two alien jellyfish having sex. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And then an unusual expository. Expository? How do I conjugate?
Expository, the thing you put up your butt? No, that's a suppository.
The suppository button on the show.
You hit the suppository button.
Expositional.
Yeah.
The expositional button on the show is 2-line banter between the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. As pilots go, not the worst, not the best.
Certainly could do worse.
Yeah.
Certainly, I don't know. Like, it is really stilted and weird. And it is very like this, like, one of the things that stuck in my head was like Worf shooting at the TV.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is kind of dumb. Like, I was like, this doesn't feel at all what the later show's like. And it's like, watching through my second time, I'm like, oh, well, this gets better. It kind of makes me excited to rewatch the rest of it because I'm like, well, this is okay. This is fine. It's like, it's serviceable,
Yeah.
But the really good shit comes later.
Yeah, it does a good job of opening up the playing field for the rest of the show and like establishing the tone of new Trek for that like
80s Trek.
Yeah. So, yeah, it checks the boxes. I don't feel like with any show ever that the pilot is like, yes, someone's favorite episode, or at least it's fairly rare.
You don't know this show, but Smiling Friends An Adult Swim. Great pilot episode.
Okay.
I fucking love it.
I'll have to look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the recap.
Yeah, it's the recap. Any closing thoughts? Any last ideas?
So next episode is The Naked Now, episode 3.
Robo fucking.
I think that at the end of every episode, we should look at the title of the next episode and
predict what's going to happen.
Yes, but wrong guesses only.
The Naked Now, Q teleports Picard into the future naked.
He does show up naked on his bridge later in the series.
I love him so much. Just a gay little man, just a petty gay little man given all of the power in the universe.
Yeah.
So what would happen if you like gave a drag queen fucking like omniscient power? That's what he would do.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
He is a drag king.
With that rope. Is. Yeah. Oh my god, you're right. Mm-hmm. I want that's actually, that would be a good Lower Decks bit.
Yes.
To be like, hey, there's a Q here who is a drag queen. Like,
oh my god. Well, he pops up for like a minute in an episode or two.
Yeah. Like I know in the first couple episodes they're like, oh yeah, I fucking saw a Q. Like someone's like lying about it. Yeah.
Let's see. I need to make an incorrect guess. I gotta think about this. The Naked Now. The crew gets stuck in a time loop, but every time the time loop repeats itself, everyone finds themselves inexplicably naked.
Inexplicably naked in compromising positions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just like missing one sock, or just missing your pants.
Yeah, and by the end of the episode, everyone's naked.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like strip poker, but it's a time loop. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
I think that in future episodes, we could do a segment of like what's on the holodeck. Like, what are we both watching, playing, reading, whatever.
You want to do that now?
We could do that.
Yeah. You want to go first?
I need to think for a second. What are you doing?
Okay. You know what I'm about to say. I have recently gotten into Warhammer 40,000, which is both a novel series and a miniature model game. I'm sure anyone who listens to this podcast has to be like a huge nerd. So you guys probably know what I'm talking about. But it's a model game. It's like chess, but stupider. You buy your little plastic figures, you assemble them, you paint them, you make them fight with other people's plastic figures, and you read the books, and it's really good. There's a god emperor who has to be fed 1,000 souls a day on a golden throne in order to be kept alive, and he didn't want to be worshipped as a god, but since he was damaged and can't speak anymore, people just fucking do it.
I have a question about the mechanics of the 1,000 souls a day. Like, how do you jar them?
I'm actually pretty sure that they crush him up, and then he has to snort them.
He does rails of souls every
He does
day.
rails of soul. Yeah, no, like he can't move those, so they stick a vacuum tube up his nose, and they're like, all right, Emperor, time for your feeding.
I feel like that would really mess with the mucous membrane of your sinuses. You're going to get nosebleeds
It wouldn't
day.
make them stronger. It's a soul.
So that's a strong shit, though.
That's true. That's like I don't know, like, which is stronger? Souls or the coke Stevie Nicks was doing in the 80s that made her almost lose her nose. I want to say the coke.
Yeah. I agree.
What about you? What's on the holodeck for you?
Research for this episode. But non-episode related or non-podcast related. Maddie reads like 4 times faster than I do.
Mm-hmm.
And just since college, I read at a snail's pace.
Ditto.
And Maddie will be like reading a book and be like, oh my God, it's so great. And I think you'd like it. And I'll be like, I believe you.
I will never read as many books as you read in a week in my entire life.
Yeah, I will attempt to get to it one day. But
it's a lot of days away.
It's disheartening. Like, just picking up a book is hard for me because I know it takes so long.
Yeah.
And so Maddie has been very psyched about this series that she's been reading.
Alien rom-com series?
Not this one. She finished that series a while back.
Oh.
I think it's Blue Alien Ice Planet smut book.
Hot.
Yeah.
Hot. William Riker reads that in his fucking room.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know who also reads that?
Troy.
Jadzia Dax.
Dax gets into it. She's like real steamy about it.
Mhm.
Worf is like, why the fuck do you read this? And she's like, you just don't get it, Worf.
No, so it's A Court of Thorns and Roses, and she's so hyped about it and like wants me to read it so badly that she's been reading it out loud to me. like it's sometimes it's like our bedtime ritual, like so we can fall asleep. Or like we were up north for her spring break and like she read to me for like fucking 3 hours while I did a jigsaw puzzle.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty great. And
so gay.
I hear that the following books are they're better, which I mean it's already a pretty good book.
Nice.
But it's fucking 400 pages long.
Jesus.
Like all of them are.
That's okay. Put this into context. 400 pages, I'm pretty sure, is the length that Jean-Paul Sartre's seminal existentialist work, Being and Nothingness, is, which is a notoriously like long book.
That is too many pages.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what's on my holodeck. All right, shall we sign off? Shall we thank some people?
Yeah, big thanks to Lola and Pascal, the cats, for being loud this episode.
Yeah.
Big ups to Maddie for her brief cameo, which might not even be in this episode.
And also thanks to Maddie for letting me yammer off her ear about thinking about starting a Star Trek podcast for like months and then finally doing it.
Hell yeah. Big ups to the jazz musicians downstairs. Don't know if you guys can hear them, but they're kind of going crazy. It rocks. Big ups to Pigeon. He's my boy. Big ups to me. I'm cool.
We got to call out Nor.
Yeah, big ups. Big ups to Nor, the presumed editor of this, but he also showed us how to use Logic to record this podcast. Big ups, you know? I love you, Nor. You're my boy. You're also my brother.
Yeah. Big ups to Michael Dorn's ass.
Big ups to Beverly Crusher's hair. I don't know what it is, but I like not even like a horny way. I just like it. Like,
yeah, it's good hair.
It's good hair. Big ups to me for burping on the mic. Goodbye.
Oh my God. All right. Bye, y'all. Thank you for listening.
Adios.